Taylor Brown looking to get on the feet, and off we go into the water. The first ever river swim and the first ever French Super League triathlon. And it was a clean start as the sun starts to shine here in Toulouse. That's a good question as we find out who's going to get the bike short, the second short shoot here. It's going to be out of Lahair and Taylor Brown by the looks of it, and a good transition by Jean Lahair. She looks back and she knows that she's won one for the Rhinos.
That was incredibly smart.
So Taylor Brown comes second.
Yeah, that was incredibly smart from Jean Lahair there. On the last lap and a half or so of that bike, it looked like she was getting distanced.
Gets the seal of approval by winning stage one from 10 seconds or more. Georgia Taylor Brown, who just sprints all the way to the line, knowing that every second counts in Super League. She has won stage one, and she immediately goes to get ready for stage two, such as the professional that she is. Jean Lahair comes over the line second, and big gaps now back.
See some of the athletes starting with their swim caps on there, so it minimises the time it's going to take them in that transition zone, and some choosing not to.
Interestingly, with the swim hats, I think 3 of the 4 girls are all from the same squad, so I wonder if it's a tactic that's come from their coach.
She's lost that position to Potter in transition, but you're absolutely right. Jean Lahair has enjoyed her debut season here, and a bit of an incident there from Beaugrand, who's had trouble.
Definitely, but it's also worth noting, I think sometimes the stronger swimmers when it comes to second and third swim don't actually swim as well as you expect. It's sometimes just the more robust and fitter athletes. So I'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Brilliant transition again there. As I say, that Taylor Spivey made a small error, but it didn't cost her in the end. And another fantastic transition. Taylor Spivey was so good at the transitions in the triple mix in London. We think that's really what got her ahead of Georgia Taylor Brown on the day. But she's gone into the water first. That was a fantastic bit of transitioning there from Taylor Spivey.
Might pick up 5 seconds on Taylor Brown. Spivey, everything will be crucial in the pursuit start. So Caldwell comes over maybe 4 seconds back, 4.5, 5.5 or 6.5 to Taylor Brown. Steinhaus.
And maybe feels they can pick up more points further down.
Well, she's probably right as Georgia Taylor Brown heads out for the last stage of the triple mix. Of course, it is bike, swim, and we run home with 2 short shoots on offer for those 3 athletes as Caldwell waits and sees her compatriot Taylor Brown take off into the distance for the first of 4 bike laps.
It's almost
going to be a big group.
It's almost a carbon copy, isn't it, of what we saw in Munich with Georgia Taylor Brown off the front with the 2 chasers.
Whilst Georgia Taylor Brown goes on a potential victory lap out at the front, now 21.5 seconds and heading into transition for the second last time as the sun beats down on what would be a very hot part of the course out there.
Yeah, Georgia's almost in cruise control now. She's just done everything she needs to do early on. The way she raced in stage 1 set herself up so brilliantly for the rest of this race. She loves to be out front of the course, as Non said earlier. She doesn't have to be under any stress. She can take her time to do the little things right here, and I just can't see a way in which she's getting caught from this point on.
Interestingly, just before the race started, I was talking to Georgia, and she was worried about how she was feeling and how it was going to go, and I just said to her, conserve energy where you can, be smart, be sensible, but I don't think she took a word of that on board because she's been out front the whole time on her own, so...
Maybe she was doing that, but she's just that good. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and we see that from Spivey and we saw that from Taylor Brown, who both transitioned very, very well, and our top 2 in the championship are the top 2 in this race as Spivey looks to swim away from the people that could cause her. Comes Georgia Taylor Brown, who has looked like she always does in Super League racing, controlled, calm, but somehow the fastest, and basically the fastest over almost any discipline as she heads out around the back of the bike racks and into the final 2-kilometre run. And Spivey is still holding off the 2 cheaters in Steinhauser and Caldwell. Caldwell has Gap Steinhauser here, who's coming back to the group as we talked about, or as Non mentioned, and a nice transition and an easy one for Taylor Brown. She absolutely has. Cassandra Beaugrand, your last time out triple mix winner, it was a Scorpion in Beaugrand, and this time, well, in London, it was a French woman, and in France, it's going to be a Brit, and it's going to be Georgia Taylor Brown, and Taylor Spivey is absolutely hooking it along the river to make sure that she comes into Neom with an equal start in the championship, but into the Boa Ignite transition area, onto the black carpet goes Georgia Taylor-Brown, who will win here in Toulouse. A French debut, and a Brit takes it all, and Taylor Spivey keeps her destiny in her own hands with a fighting second ahead of Caldwell, who will be third overall. So our top three in the championship standings are your top three on the podium today, and Cassandra Beaugrand has run away from the field to pick up fourth position as the Scorpions embrace once again, just as they did this wonderful city down in the south of France, just 150 k's or so from the Mediterranean. It was Georgia Taylor-Brown who was just supreme in the end with an 18-18 in the last one, 5 seconds ahead of Taylor Spivey, who really ran it back after being 21 seconds back. Sophie Caldwell picks up the podium, and Taylor's right, they will be equal heading in to the grand final. Cassandra Beaugrand and Beth Potter round out the top five.